A fine Thursday. How's everyone doing out there? I am having a heck of a day, and I mean that literally. I was having a heck of a day. It was actually pretty good. It's a little crazy because I was out at lunch because my battery on my lawnmower kind of went, so I had to charge that, and then I was out doing lawn stuff while that happened, and went back to meetings, and then caught Erudi stream, and then now I'm here. So anyway, you get me in a tank top. Hello, welcome to Legend Seeker. I guess I should call it Frost Written because we are just working on the lore. See, look, I'm all discombobulated. It's all the heat. It's like 60 degrees outside. It's way too hot. Anyway, let me start that again. Welcome to Frost Written, where we're working on the lore for Legend Seeker. I'm Frost, and I'm the guy who's writing all this gibberish on the screen behind me. We're just going to be going over some more lore today. I've got an idea from something that Erudi said in his previous stream that I want to cover as an NPC, which will be a lot of fun. And I'm just going to keep working on the areas we've got going here. So I'm trying to get a couple of them nailed down in a really solid form, so I kind of get myself a good example of how much information is going to be enough, how much is too much, and the kind of things that a player or a DM would really want to know about a place, rather than some fluffy detail that might not matter. But I'm going to put the fluffy details in there anyway. So there. Wow, I got kitty cat hair. Yay, having cats is fun. And yes, Corner Pub Gamer, your kneecaps, she will hit them. But I think she has a long-handled shovel, so you better be careful. She might be able to reach all the way up to more sensitive areas. I'm just saying. I've never seen it happen, but I've heard tales. Anyway, welcome. Now that I stumbled through that, I'm having some more coffee. It's going to be great. Let's see. I am working on, at the moment, a few notes about Agrim, the island. But I want to go back into the area around Senna's Fall, because I want to put an NPC in here. I do. I want to make... It's not going to be a legendary dragon. It's not going to be like the most powerful dragon, but it's going to be a well-respected dragon in this area that most people are absolutely just terrified of. Nobody will go near him. But powerful people who need an arbiter or need something will go look and find this person and seek him out. Now, I have to look up one quick thing in Erudi's lore. Let's see here. Let me go back to this document. I have to look for... I think I got a bite. Or a sting. I don't know, something got me outside. Right between the shoulder blades, of course. All right, Legend Seeker. Where is the right thing that I'm looking for here? We'll go here. He is the... yeah, it's be in here, right? Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah. I just want to look at one thing in this document about these guys. Okay. Yep. Yes, that is the one I want. Okay, good. Oh, okay, cool. I will definitely do that. So here's what I was going to do, Erudi. I'm working on this dragon for this area. He's going to be, you know, an older dragon, obviously, because he's not going to be too young. But he's just, I'm going to have him called the Arbiter. We can come up with an actual name, but people call him the Arbiter because that is the function of, you know, a lot of gold dragons see themselves as better, more powerful, like you said in your lore. They see themselves as arbiters and stuff, and he will be for that specific reason. And you know, he's in it for, you know, the fame, the glory, the feeling of like, yes, come to me, I shall iron out your problems, lesser races. So he's going to be kind of full of himself, but also he's interested in actually working these things out because he finds it fascinating and finds these little races fascinating. So, but also treasure, money, favors, whatever. I think it's going to be fun. So, I'm gonna just put a few things together here. If anybody has any thoughts on it, let me know. Let me know what you're thinking, because he will have his own treasure hoard. He has his place, and he is so, you know, certain of his position. There's like nobody would be stupid enough to actually attack me. It's like, why would you attack Switzerland when we can have all their stuff there and not have it hurt? So nobody would be dumb enough to ever attack him, right? Right. I got the Arbiter. Woo! Body odor is powerful. Wait a second. You like wonky detail? First gaming group mapped all of. Wow, wow. The family's jobs. Nice. Dragons are all about the bling. Silly lizards. Silly flying lizards. But I want there to be something about this guy, because I don't want him to be perfect. I want him to possibly have been injured in the God Killer War, which is another reason that he stays in his place and makes everybody come to him and hides himself in his treasure hoard. That I want there to be a little secret about that there maybe he's actually a little vulnerable, but doesn't want anybody to know that. And that would be something that would be really difficult to find out. But it's a good thing to put in here for like a DM as a little adventure hook. And I will let you know anytime that I'm just sitting here heads down writing, because, you know, I have to look at the keyboard sometimes because I'm mostly blind and I know where the keys are, but if I move my fingers on the wrong keys, sometimes if I move it over slightly, then I type a lot of gibberish, and that's no good. More gibberish than you're seeing up here. And I'm not completely ignoring you, but I am ignoring you. I'm in writer mode. So I will pull my head up once in a while, once I feel the silence stretching on too long. Mm. What would be a good word for that? That was a slip of the word. I typed the wrong letter, and oh, this just gave me an amazing idea for something. Where am I gonna put this? I have a suggestions document. I gotta go find my suggestions document. Put this down here. Just gave me an idea for something. I like how a mistyped word made me come up with an idea for something. There we go. Boom. Okay. That'll be fun. Yes. Ignore me. Nice. And he hates puns. That's just punny. Still make a sound question. Adding impatience to his behavior would be interesting. Yes, he's patient and interested, but if you ask him stupid things, he's liable to eat you. Don't ask him if the tree falls in the forest, does it still make a sound? Yes, yes, step closer to my mouth. Okay, the few living mortals have met him face to face, and those who grants an audience who are generally only the most powerful, influential, and He hates bad grammar, so barbarians don't learn proper English because they have a be strong. Nice. I like it. Okay. Okay. Um, so right now, I'm writing this part in here. It'll be in there. We'll see. Erudi may like it. Vex, he might go ponk and say no. But there's only one being that's actually aware that he was injured in the God Killer War, and his right wing is pretty much just destroyed. But with the help of Davila, who I'm going with Davila right now because I was like going to go with Kika, but I think he would fit a little more in line with being someone who had talked to Davila a lot about things. Because he feels like he's better. He may have thought maybe siding Grix is a good idea, but then possibly realized, oh, he's insane. And then got away with Davila. But I think that she was with him or they were both together and they both got injured. But he can't use that wing, but through her magics, being a god, she has a permanent illusion on him that makes it look like his wing is fine and beautiful and he's majestic, but literally he can no longer fly. So he stays in his cave, basically playing it off as like, why would I leave? And no, I don't think we'll make him a fat dragon like the one in the D&D movie, though. A virgin offering this dragon sacrifice trope. Got to answer. He's. I like how, not ho. I like virgin offering the dragon sacrifice trope. Got to answer ho. I think that's just fun. But I think the other fun thing is I'm gonna do is he is gonna have almost, but not quite, not a cult-like following. He's going to have people or some beings, I don't know exactly what they're going to be, that are kind of his, like the Oracle of Delphi had people. waiting on her. He has a small group of people who are completely devoted to him. Because I think he could be, and this could be interesting, he could even be a patron to creatures that need have a patron. I'll have to run that by Erudi again and see what he thinks of that. Um, all right. And this is going to be in the same area that Sena's Fall is in. It's going to be up in the Blessed Hills, which will be interesting. Cult of the Dragon. Yeah, Pudgy Dragon. That's not good. He never sleeps unless he's waking up as a Dracolich. Oh, he sleeps. He just won't be pudgy. How very DEI of them, yeah. Die, it's die, not DEI, not DEI, not die, it's die. Very nice. Okay, I think he's going to be an interesting character too, because I have him in here being he adores arguments, he loves debates, he loves decorum, and he makes sure that everybody binds, he binds them to, like, you will follow these rules when we have this argument, like a judge kind of, or, we're in contempt of court and I'll have my people throw you out, or who knows, I may hate you. But he is incredibly smart and cagey, but he also really likes the idea of people seeing how clever and smart and cagey he is, so a very keen group of adventurers and people that might be able to figure that out. Might be able to play on that a bit. Okay, there we go. You know what I'm missing? I just realized I'm drinking this lovely cup of coffee I got without hot sauce. Yep, tank top stream. It's all for you, Chrysanth. Here, I'll do the I don't know how to pose for flexies. I don't know how to do it. All right. Oof. I may put too much in. I do have a big cut on my arm from a tree branch that caught me. So if you saw blood, that was because, well, I have a big cut on my arm. That's what I get for cutting down a branch that's somewhat over my head, but then realizing that I was on the edge of a little incline, and I was like, oh, well, that's of course where it's going to go, right on top of me. I like that. Do not wizards, small wizard. Yeah, there it goes. Dies of 1d6 flex pose failure damage. Squishy wizards. Exactly. I can't bench press enough. All that matters is that I can pick up a 22-pound cat and move him around. That's all I need to worry about, right? All right, we got the Arbiter in here. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we want to mention about him. Yeah. I'm going to grab this. Boop. All right, so what I'm going to do here quickly is to talk about that. I am going to check something quickly because I want to make sure I don't do this. All right, let's go here. Gold dragons. So this is all NDA stuff, but Erudi said I could share some of the info on the gold dragons. As you know, I won't give all the info. There's certain sections we're not going to talk about right now because that's the cool secret stuff that you'll get. But gold dragons, here we go. Blood. How do kingdoms deal with him? Politics around him? Exactly. It's basically he's Switzerland. Nobody is gonna go try and mess with him because A, he's a dragon, and B, he's a dragon who can settle arguments for them, and C, it's like having a living nuclear weapon sitting somewhere. If somebody screws around and pisses them off, that's not good for anybody. So they appease him. So I mentioned that in his faithful worshippers, they collect, offerings, because people leave lots of offerings. Like, here you go. Especially if they want to, keep him happy and fed. People will donate cows and whatever they can from the surrounding lands. Like, here you go. Please don't eat us. All right, so gold dragons. This says, gold dragons reside in resplendent lairs situated in remote, often inaccessible locations such as high mountain peaks, which is he's going to be in, deep underground caverns lined with veins of gold, or islands surrounded by treacherous waters. I also have an idea for a gold dragon on the Umbral Atoll, but this gold dragon is mated with another dragon, but she's not a gold dragon. I'll go into that later. I think this is going to be a fun little idea. Let's see. These majestic environments reflect their grandeur and isolationist tendencies. Their homes are fortresses of opulence filled with vast treasures of gold, precious gems, and priceless artifacts, symbolizing their wealth and status among dragonkind. Gold dragons are the epitome of draconic majesty, with scales that gleam like polished gold, casting a warm, radiant light that illuminates their surroundings. They are large and muscular, exuding power and regality. Eyes are piercing and command respect, often intimidating those who gaze upon them. Gold dragons have long, flowing manes and tails that shimmer like liquid gold, adding to their awe-inspiring appearance. Gold dragons are proud and arrogant, with a strong belief in their own superiority and the supremacy of dragonkind. They see themselves as natural leaders and arbiters, often intervening in the affairs of mortals and other dragons to enforce their ideas of justice and order. Their arrogance, however, is tempered by a genuine desire to maintain balance and fairness, making them respected and revered figures in both mortal and dragon societies. Gold dragons are often approached by mortals seeking judgments on matters of great import, and they preside over trials involving dragons who have committed crimes against their kin. Their decisions are considered final, reflecting their role as both judge and executioner if necessary. A dragon in their backyard. Yep, exactly. All right. Let's go. All right, we'll go over the abilities and powers. Gold dragons possess 2 potent breath weapons. 2. First emits divine radiant energy, a manifestation of their celestial alignment, used for both defense and as a demonstration of their might. This radiant breath not only damages, but also purifies, often leaving their surroundings gleaming unnaturally clean. The second, more unique breath weapon compels obedience and truth-telling. The breath envelops their targets in a golden mist, making it impossible for them to lie or disobey the commands of the dragon. This ability is integral to their role as arbiters, ensuring honesty and compliance in their courts. In addition to their breath weapons, gold dragons have the ability to influence the minds of both mortals and dragons, subtly guiding them towards decisions that align with the dragon's sense of justice and order. This power is used sparingly, as they prefer to rule through wisdom and authority, rather than coercion. And there's a section on lore and myths and stuff, which we're not going to go into here. But this is why I chose this type of a dragon here. Now, Where is this one? I'm trying to find the other thing that I was looking at here. Okay, where'd it go? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah. Okay. It is there. Oh, good. It was the right one. Yeah, that's the one I chose. Yeah. So later on, like I said, I'll be talking about the other dragon, and I kind of want to have a mated pair, which will be an interesting take on dragons and stuff. It'll be interesting. All right. So there you go. There's a brief rundown of Gold Dragon and the Arbiter. Okay. So, I'm going to be working on the transposing all the info from the other document about Senna's Fall into this later. So I'm going to go back up here. I'm working on the intro of the book at the moment, just to try and get myself in a little bit of a mindset of what a reader and what a new DM or player who buys the book could expect from the book. So trying to lay it out. Like, I've read so many intros of so many, they're like, what you're doing here is you're looking at this magnificent world we created, and they start going into like, there are people who have magic and this, and I'm like, yeah, we're playing a fantasy role-playing game. Yep. Most people are going to know that, and if they don't, they're going to know it real soon. I don't need to explain how role-playing games work to you. This book is going to be, first and foremost, a list of, you know, the cool places you can be, like starting campaigns in cool cities and things. It's a source book. It's a deep lore book on a certain part of the world. You should understand how the basics work by this point, and if you don't, you'll get that information from the other tome. So we have this stuff segregated, and I think Erudi is doing a good job of keeping that stuff. So you know what you're getting from each book. It'll be an in-depth look at the lore and the world in this one. Right, this is the in-depth overview of the Godlands. The ancient cradle civilization of the world of Erudia expands on the basic information contained in the... I don't remember what the main source book is called, but I put, you know, when I don't know what something's called, I just put brackets and say, you know, source book, main source book, blah, question marks, whatever it is. This includes an in-depth look at the events of the God Killer War, the conflict which led to the current state of affairs in Erudia. And also, Erudi, if you're still here, I do have a question at some point. I know people were talking about Erudia, and you were like, well, that's a name, and they were possibly going to be changing it and stuff. I'm just curious where you're falling on that. Oh, the Dragonling was talking while you were discussing Go Dragons. Okay. Yep, go back to that point. I'm sure after the stream we can get, you know, I don't know if Michaela or Chrysant or somebody that put the little timestamps in, they could probably say where the Gold Dragon discussion was. You should be able to find it. I mean, you could also scrub back too. Right. So, yeah, there we go. Centuries after the God Killer Wars, community congregated together in safe havens to rebuild, and the longer-lived races retreated to the respecting. I typed the best words. Brave and enterprising members of all the races traveled between these lands, making profit and carving out legacies for themselves as they slowly push back the wilderness without the direct intercession of their absent gods. Some stone, I'll say, yeah, stone-paved roads exist between a select few of the major cities and kingdoms, remnants of travel networks created by greater civilizations during more peaceful times. Majority of the roadways across the Godlands are packed earth, maintained by the merchants and their caravans. gonna say maintained by the local governments. I guess we'll say not only. Okay, there we go. I do want to put something in one of these areas, and it might be good to have it in the... So, if you can tell, I hop all around the place because I'm looking at this as a holistic whole, the entire place. So when I'm working on an area, I'm suddenly like, what about these little creatures? And I'm like, what area of the world could they fit in? I'm like, ooh, these guys would go over here. So I was just thinking... I'll explain my thought process where I leapt from. Roads being maintained by the local governments. People have forgotten how to make the really nice roads like the Roman roads. They use packed earth roads. It would be fun, I thought, because I put the note in there that at most crossroads of major roads, because the gods used to walk amongst the people, there are shrines to gods everywhere. Little tiny shrines like a plinth of stone where there's offerings left, you know, a big old tree with a shrine grown around it that's kind of encompassed it. There are large shrines that are like unmanned, like, you know, like you'd expect, or not expect, but like if you've ever seen a mausoleum at a graveyard, big stone building with just a little entrance walking in, literally just an altar inside at some crossroads where people can like take shelter for the night or something, but it's a shrine to like one of the nature gods or something. And these are everywhere, and that the Fae maintain some of them. And that got me thinking, oh, I wonder what the Fae would like. You know how look along a highway here, sometimes you'll see this stretch of highway maintained by the Boy Scouts troop number 7, and they pick up trash. That the Fae in certain areas have, following the doctrine of whimsy and woe, will come across into these areas where there's a shrine, and they've adopted the area and they want to keep it clean. So that section of road is always like bramble free, or the puddles and the potholes and things are always miraculously kind of like fixed very often, and the ruts don't get as deep. But that led me to think, well, it'd be kind of fun to have some of these Fae in some of those other areas where the magic barrier is really messed up, like in the Soul Spires, and that's another reason that it's dangerous for people to go there, because you wander in, you're like, oh no, I think we wandered into Cadia. No. So this is my mindset going through and through and through, and I have to put pins in all that stuff in my head because I can't write that fast. I'm not Sevi. I can't type that fast. All right, what kind of crazy stuff have you guys been doing here? Woohoo! You've grown attached to it? Okay, cool. Adopt a high Fae. There you go. Exactly. This stretch of road maintained by Acorn and Buttercup. Now I gotta have 2 Fae named Acorn and Buttercup, don't I? Why do I do this to myself? Oops, that's the wrong document. Where? I have too many documents open. There we go. I think Acorn and Buttercup would actually be kind of fun. Because people were talking, like, Circus was making some jokes about I don't remember which chat and which server it was, but talking about Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. I think it'd be fun to have Acorn and Buttercup be kind of a little comic relief, but also be kind of recurrent characters in something somewhere. I think I'm going to have to add them into something, and it might be in something that you asked me to be working on that I also have a different schedule on, Erudi. So I think I might, I'll find a way to put him in there. I'm going to do it. It's possible they're the ones who, in the thing you have me writing, may have contacted the main people to tell them, hey, this is where that person is. If you're looking for him, if you can figure that out, then there you go. Then either I'm a genius, you're a genius, or we're both on the same wavelength somehow, and that's disturbing. Crescent should be terrified. There we go. All right, I'm going to take a peek over here. Go. Trying to keep an eye on Kick Chat as well. All right, so we got that. We got Acorn. We got Buttercup. We'll throw them somewhere there. Yeah, so the thing that I had written here was, yeah, the majority of the roadways across Scotland's packed earth maintained by the local governments for the benefit of not only their own military, but merchants and their caravans to keep the economies flowing, though the gods retreated to their kunai and no longer dwell amongst the creations. Faith is a powerful force in the lives of most mortals. Most crossroads have shrines to one god or another. It is unusual for even the smallest village to not have a structure dedicated to the worship of the immortals. So they'll be ever present, not that everybody believes strongly, but it will be ubiquitous. Adventure module number 1. Well, I definitely want to throw an idea for the adventure of the Umbrella Atoll, the whole island, because that whole idea of that island was just like, this is probably going to have to be an adventure of some sort. It just is too strange and could be too much fun. It could be entertaining. Acorn and Buttercup have preferred forms. Well, I would refer to Erudi on that because I technically, when I put Fae in most of my game, they have a form that is their form. And they can adapt and change and swap, like if they have the ability to shape change. But not all Fae are overly, like, you know, like Swiss Army knife characters. Not all of them can change completely. Some of them may just be able to go invisible if they're little tiny Fae and stuff. Like more powerful Fae probably have the ability to swap, look like whoever they want, and do all those kind of things. But I'm seeing these two as smaller, maybe like little brownie type people, little house gnome type creatures. I don't even know how big, you know, not big. Could be fun. Could be fun. It'll be even more interesting if they specifically work for one of the 3 hags in the coven that control Canadia and the have transcribed the doctrine of whimsy and woe. Or like a lot of Fae, if they follow the rules, but they're like, yeah, we work for her. Ish. As much as any Fae works for a specific person. All right, so okay, where was I at on the other thing here? Got the okay. That is the note on a sea beast, and then talking about the caustic strand. All right, that is where I put the note on Thalassa and Xander. I copied some stuff over here. I just want to make sure I put it in the right spot. Okay. Okay. Let's go back up here and make the note that I was going to make. And I'm just going to delete that set. That I went too far in the explanation and started to almost ruin the explanation by giving too much info. Never a good idea. A teen kept falling in a room by Fae who adopted structure of the roadway so they can play with them, use, and help mortals. There, we'll go with the doctrine. All right, we're going to move this to a different section, though, because I think getting off of the subject of the introduction into an actual feature. So we're going to take this, we're going to put this as a feature, we're going to put it here. We're going to just put it under roadways. And we'll put it there. All right, and I think, what was this kind of heading? What did I put this under? This is, oops. Waterways is a heading 2. All right, we'll put this to a heading 2 so we get the proper sorting in the navigation pane. All right, so we're going to, I think, did I put that section in? I only did those. I think I'm going to move even more of the intro over there. I think it's more important to have this in its own little heading section so it doesn't get lost. Okay, we're going to do All right, we're going to take this section, we're going to put it under roadways. This is part of the process of writing a thing like this out. You're like, I'm going to do an introduction. I start talking about this and this and this and this, and then you're like, ooh, and I want to deep dive into this one little subject. You write through a few paragraphs, and you're like, that should go in its own section, which is exactly what I just did, because now I have a section under the Godlands that is specifically roadways, and it talks about how roadways work. So now, if person reading this book, they'll read the intro. A lot of people will skip an intro, just be honest. They'll read through the intro and be like, yeah, whatever, I know it. Then they'll go to the section they want. They're like, is there a section in the intro or in the book, in the table of contents that's talking about roads, how roads work, or specific waterways? They want to see those things delineated, so when they go searching, they're like, you don't look for, you're like, how do I figure out how to run this spell, or how do I do this? And it's a pet peeve of mine of not being able to find that stuff. Like, Savage Worlds, really loved the system. I was looking at something for Savage Rifts about how innate powers are handled. There is no heading that I can find anywhere that talks about innate powers, but yet some of the iconic frameworks of characters and things say, these powers for this kind of a class are treated as innate powers. No hyperlink, no link, no nothing telling you. You have to search all the way through this entire book and you'll find nothing. If you look at one other source book, go through a specific section, you'll find 2 sentences with a little tiny heading that is not in the intro, that's not in the appendix, that's nowhere, that says, this is how these work mechanically. It took me 2 hours to find the thing, and I knew it existed, but I had to look through 4 different books to find it. So if we can avoid some of that, we're going to be winning. Oh yeah, they have a weird way of writing that. Okay. Sorry, I was just looking at a way that they said to format something, because Word thinks it knows better than I do, and I'm like, nope, wrong. Anyway, let's see what you guys are saying over here. Am I grayscale, or is it just the lighting? I think it's actually my, because I changed, let's see if this actually changes here, because I was screwing around the other night with my lighting, and I think, yeah, since my lighting was going cooler and warmer, it was going weird in Cthulhu. And my lighting changed, so I think I did go grayscale slightly here. Let me see. Let me see what happened to me. I think my saturation's down. All right, look at that. Look at me. Look at me. I have color on me now. I'm still really dark right now because that's just the way I have the filter setting. And, I can put color lookup tables and stuff on and off. I can turn off the color correction and be completely blown out. But yeah, it's basically, it was filtering me down to having no skin tone, which is kind of fitting for a wizard, right? Exactly. Now I have color. Well, it's interesting. My face looks much more red than everything else, which is not surprising, I suppose, since I was outside in the sun today. All right, let's see what we got here. Feywife swap and Frost games confirmed. Hey, wait a second. Forgot when you're drunk, I'm in charge. Is there Igwil? Oh, James got you Wukong. Okay, good luck. Welcome to the farming factory that you have to do between boss fights. Have fun saving and reloading an area so you can just farm things for points. AKA Tasha, AKA Tasha the Archfey. I have no idea who any of those people are, Levistro. Dave, you can check with, you can send Erudi a ping in the channel. He can answer all of that stuff. Yeah, well, so Savage Shock is basically um it's a bizarre game filled with weird, I guess, Chinese myth and monsters and stuff. 90% of them make this much sense. No sense. But whatever. That's just trappings on the game. It's just basically boss fights and farming dudes before the boss fights, because you have to kill guys to get will, which is your currency, and you kill those guys, you get a little bit of experience. And every time you level up, you get a spark, and you put that spark in and you buy a level in something. Like there's 5 levels to your health, 5 levels to your stamina, and there are like 50 other things you can throw points in, so you can farm for a long time. But the creatures only seem to give, the base creatures give like 32 experience, no matter how many you kill. It's just always 32. The bigger ones are like 175, but they're fewer and far between. They're also harder to kill, so mileage may vary, but you don't really lose anything as far as I can tell between dying and respawning at a shrine. But what you do is you clear an area out, and I just run back to the shrine, save, all the guys respawn, I run back out, kill them all again, run back to the shrine, save, do it over and over and over to get points, so you can get sparks, so you can get new abilities and attacks and stuff, so when you go fight the boss, you have like more health, you have more abilities, and do that. Rinse, repeat. So, you like to pretend I'm a gray wizard? Yeah, they did say my red pepper sauce and my coffee maybe turned red too, but that was actually the lighting, which is weird because my face usually doesn't ever change when I drink hot sauce. It just, my mouth goes on fire. So, I don't know. Witch Evil Witch, D&D Rotor, she's in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, Witchlight Campaign, yeah, Vecna. Yeah, I mean, I've played D&D since it was, you know, the very first books with the Ifrit and all the other stuff, and the earlier versions even too. Oh, interesting. Yeah, the Chinese mythology stuff is just so uninteresting to me, the alien to me. It's just all weird. When I did a game for Activision, I did the map for Call of Duty Online, which was our foray into the Chinese market for that. And it was a battle royale game before we had a battle royale game in Call of Duty proper. And that was our introduction to it. And we had the Monkey King. We had all these crazy, you know, girls in latex cat suits with like puppy backpacks and everything. And it was just the Wild West of microtransactional skins and stuff. Before that stuff was even like really big in other games. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. People like them. They enjoyed them. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Give me a good medieval Polish game like Kingdom Come Deliverance or something like that, and I'm like there. And I like Ghost of Tsushima, if I can even say it. That had a lot of fun stuff, and I really enjoyed that, even though the cutting through bamboo puzzles was not my thing. So one of the things I want to add in here is we've got the Godlands, we've got, you know, Desert Kingdoms, we've got all these other kingdoms. The one islandy area that comes down on the left that I have on the map that I don't have figured out that goes down towards the equator, I want that to have more of the idea of an Eastern culture, even though it's technically in the West in this place. You know, throw it all, spin it around, move it around. Because I think that would be a fun little kind of place to have. Like that sort of a civilization would be fun. But not a traditional, like, samurai type thing. Something interesting. Something slightly different. Flavored. Catsuit's always good. How sad did you get when you were told you couldn't add ghosts? In the horror host? Did you mean in the COD Online thing? You're asking because she did consort with demons, while Vecna was the ultimate undead near god tier. She's the same when it comes to demons. Ah, okay. The only lands that matters are the lands that Jarek Thunderaxe's feet touch. Well, he's up in the wildlands north of the mountains. The wild, untamed, heather and thistle-covered highlands. all the way up into the tundra and the horrible places where the orcs roam free with the frost lions and everything. Mountain Blade 2. Yeah, Mountain Blade 2. Oh, Lost Caverns of Sludge Camp. Yeah, I ran that for my group in, I want to say 1986. Is that the right year? Man, those were high times for us. Heady times. White Plume Mountain. We were running through that. We were playing, oh my gosh, the Tomb of Annihilation, White Plume Mountain, Against the Giants. There were a few other ones we had at that point too, but yeah. Oh. Good stuff. They left a lot more to the imagination in those modules too. All right, so this just popped into my head here, thinking through all that stuff. I think I want to put, where do I want to put this now? Yeah, here. Trying to decide if I want to throw the thing that I just thought of while we were talking about all that and I was going off on rants about things. I have an idea. I may just put this separately at the bottom and find a location for it afterwards here. I'm gonna make a note for myself. Actually, I'm gonna make the note in my other document here before I even find a place for it. Because I think this will work well with the gods. Okay. Okay, we'll put that in here. Boom. There we go. All right. That goes in that now. All right. Goody. Something like that in the lore. There's going to be some interesting stuff concerning the fallen elves, how that whole part of the universe and the cosmology works with the realm of the dead and things with the realm of the dead, but also the other realms that are there with some where the more demonic things are, the devils and demons. Yeah, there's a whole thing that Erudi has written up on all of that stuff that I'm running some of it through my head to see how I can find, you know, things that fall through the cracks and things through the seams and like standout characters and places to visit and things that could link to other things in the world to kind of like interconnect everything. You found the TSR books in a garage sale? You read them? It was a lot of fun. Nice. Tomb of Annihilation. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was. Yeah, and one of the things that we were talking about earlier made me really think of a note that I had to make. That's why I made that big note on that other page, because it's concerning one of the fallen elves far in the north, which would be a place that could come into contact and conflict with Jarek Thunderaxe's people. That'll be fun for them. Though I can't wait to see Jarek Thunderaxe and his battle llama take on some frost lions. They're basically striped, like colored fur lion creatures, kind of like mountain lions, but they're the size of a horse that roam around the tundra up there and prey on the orcs. Nobody better mess with Jared. Jarek. I think it's Jarek, isn't it? Did you change your own name? All right, so I did write a little more stuff up, by the way. I'm going through some stuff here about Moss from last time. I think Moss is going to be a fun place and a fun person. No matter who the Moss Boss is of Moss. You're tired. JT's tired. All right, I just got a message. Who did I get a message from? Okay. Okay. And I do have to come up, and maybe this is a good time to do it too, since we're talking about that area. There is a legendary dragon that lives out in those steppes. And she's a treat. Let's just say that. Let me check one thing here. Right. Okay, there we go. So the dragon that is out here amongst those places is, not surprisingly, a white dragon. She is patient and old. Dun dun dun. All right, move that there. Grab my thesaurus again. Should always have my thesaurus pulled up, but sometimes I forget. All right. Where did that go? I had a word that I was looking for. Okay. Why gotta be white? Prizes would be given out for parties that made it the furthest. Yeah, they were designed. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was very difficult because I used to be, way back in the day, I was part of the, my gosh, what was it even called? What was the Dungeon Masters Guild? I think that was the thing at my college. It was the RPGA? Is that what it was? Crap, I don't remember back in the day. They used to have it in Dragon Magazine all the time, and I was part of it for a little while, and then I was like, nah, I never did anything with it. So, but yeah, they had tournaments, they had all kinds of crazy stuff, and we tried to run some of those modules, and we're like, how are you supposed to survive these things? Moss gets a whole land of dude. Well, here's the thing about Moss. It is a confluence in some hills where some rivers come together in this massive, like, pool lake that's surrounded by green moss and stuff everywhere. It is basically a giant hold. And it's a place where a group of giants have claimed an area where all this water is. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. They have a grotto. And it's called Moss. And it's run by Moss Boss, who's one of their big giants, whoever's in charge. All right. Okay, here, I was looking for that word. Ah, there we go. Let's see, where's my word? Where's my word? I'm gonna look up that word. I love finding new words. I love it. I love it. That's interesting. Sorry, I was just looking up a couple words here, and one of the words that somebody suggested as like an extended thesaurus for words that have to do with cold and ice and freezing was emperor penguins. Sure, I guess, maybe. What does this do? Why did that do that? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Let me click this once. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. It's so strange how people work words together. This is the word I was looking for. I found it. All right, I'm going to see, because this definition is really weird and it doesn't work. I'll throw it in the chat in a second here. Because I think it's German, or is it Russian? Okay, okay. Okay. I found her name, and I was trying to remember because I've heard this term before, and I was like, is this right? The term is two times. Zoom, zoom. Of course, that's a synonym. Yeah, I don't know why they think that's a synonym. That's just like ice, emperor penguin. So the term alface is it means ice on top, or in Russian it's called naled. It basically, it's from 1860s. It's just means on ice. Which is kind of cool. Yeah. I found it. I remembered the word, sort of, ish. Took me a while to load it up and find it, but I found it. I'm giving her all kinds of fun stuff here. And I'll tell you what I'm writing in a second here. All right, so right now I have her. She is Alface. She is the end mother. And when I say the end mother, it's the orcs refer to her as the end mother. The blinding dream, the embrace. She's the end that the old orcs seek out when they feel they've lived past their prime, because they're nomadic across this whole area. And the ones who basically are just like, you know, I'm burdened on everyone right now. I haven't died in battle. I'm going to go find her because, again, like I said, amongst the orcs, killing a dragon, to some of them is like, you are amazing. Certain groups, it's imperative that they try this, and it's like a legend if they do. But all the orcs kind of revere the dragons. That's why they were drawn to Grix. And they will just say, I'm, going to seek the End Mother. And they will just, put down their things and they will just wander off into the north. And nobody knows, obviously, if they ever find her. But the winter claims them, whatever claims them, the north claims them. So technically it's all kind of the poetic end to all these orcs. But she is real and she exists. But she is basically a force of nature out there. Because the other part about this is she is literally a psychopomp for Mordecai, his beloved friend and confidant. Okay, who she leads to their proper ends. You don't know what a psychopomp is, I can tell you, but if you can always look it up. She's a neutral observer in the world, but a herald of the dead. And she leads them to their proper ends. But she basically holds the North in her hands, basically. She's going to be fun. Michaela, you're saying you'll be live in about 45 minutes. You think you'll make it? You think you'll make it? Like Muppets on Ice. No Muppets on Ice. No. But I think she's going to be an interesting thing to have out there because she is, she's not evil. She is a legendary, huge creature. But her lair is just, a palace of ice. Because what white dragons do is they freeze their treasure and important things in ice to keep them protected and safe from others. Okay, the glacial tunnels where she's made her home are adorned with all manner of treasures, all timbered in the thick eternal ice. So much fun. She's going to be entertaining, especially when we get to work with, her and Mordecai. The end of other. Boop. Oh yeah, Michaela said she was going to be caught up. I think she meant she was going to be caught up to where we're at live. Because she's going 2 times speed on the stream right now. All right, so... Okay. I think it's going too far to say she's a beloved friend. I said trusted servant. Because as powerful as she is, Mordecai's God. All right. Go. And then that brings me on to the notes that I was making earlier on the fallen elves, which I have a bunch of notes on. I think I'm gonna hold off on those for a minute or two, a hot minute, because I want to cover a couple of other things first. Because if I go too far over that, it's going to be a little bit of a side travel there. We're going to have to push that away. Okay, pushing that somewhere else in my head so I get the thoughts out of there. All right, so where are we at here? Where are we at? The good thing is we've added like another 1,000 some words of stuff already onto this today. We're getting somewhere, though I did take a chunk out of it right now. So I added a huge chunk, but I took a chunk of stuff and moved it over to a set of notes at the moment. Because I've got another couple thousand words of notes, actually another 3,000 or 4,000 words of notes on these other pages. So I have almost double what we have. Actually, a little over double what's actually in this document that needs to come over into the document, which is great. Now, I remember at some point, somebody mentioned in, where is it here? In the Thalassian Ocean, somebody mentioned literal sea lions, which I think could be fun. Because I think what I'm going to do is go here. Going on about the sea lions here. And you guys will have to let me know in comments too. If I tend to jump around too much, because I do this a lot when I'm writing these kind of things, I will just jump from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. If you guys would like me to focus on something a little more in detail and in depth, like, hey, could we just go over this island in depth for the first, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then do the next thing and do the next thing, I could totally do that. So just leave me some comments or throw comments in here and let me know. Because I know my brain doesn't work the same way as everyone else's. I'll be writing 3 things at once, and then I'll write one of them down, and then be like over here, and then over here, and then down there, and over there. And it's just like me picking things out and put them in boxes while I'm writing. So let me know. I'll leave that statement like it is, and I'll just figure it out afterwards. All right, the sea lions. I have them roaming in packs along the warm currents that feed into the Umbral Sea from the Thalassian Ocean. And the golden-scaled sea lions are usually sighted pursuing schools of moonfish by the sailors and pirates that see them. Considered to be good luck. These predators don't attack ships, but the sailors often realize their true nature if they come face to face with them in their element. It's basically like, yeah, would you want to meet a lion on land that was hungry? No. Do you want to meet one in the ocean that's hungry? No. Don't do it. Don't go hugging sea lions. They're not kitties. They don't go mouth. They go chomp, chomp, chomp. All right. Explain to me what a psychopomp is, old wizard. Noelle tried, but she was bad at it. Psychopomp is basically, if you want to think about it, it's something, a creature or a person or something that leads souls to the underworld. It's literally like it's someone who guides spirits. Like your psyche is your mind and your spirit, and I guess it's from the Greek words. It is literally, I think, psychopomp. Psychopomp. I'm thinking back on my Greek here. Is it Pompus? Pompos. Pompeius. I think it's Pompos. It's like basically a messenger, kind of like the idea of an angel or a Valkyrie or something like that. They can take lots of different forms, and that's pretty much all they are. So they serve Mordecai, and that person basically just shepherds the souls somewhere. That's pretty much all they are. If you look into different types of literatures, it can be anything from like a physical messenger, like a judge, like Charon, I will ferry you to the underworld, or a flock of nightingales or whippoorwills or something that, like when somebody dies, they snap the soul up and eat them and take them to the underworld or stuff like that. So, yeah, that kind of stuff. Yep. Are fallen elves covered in felt with sunglasses and microphone earpieces? No. The fallen elves, no. That's totally, those are the Rudy Poos. No, I'm kidding. Those aren't the Rudy Poos. I'm kidding. I'm not sure what Death from Endless is. Is Endless a book series, a game, a movie? Oh, Neil Gaiman. Okay. Got it. I don't know. Is that what Death did in the Neil Gaiman things? I'm going to guess. I had a lot of friends who were like total Neil Gaiman heads and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I thought it was cool stuff. It was fine. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. But they were all in. They even dressed up with those characters on Halloween and stuff. Nutty people. I mean, those lovely people, those friends of mine. Like Karen, okay, all right. But a modern take on it, I believe. Hot and nice, there you go. Because who doesn't want their psychopomp to be, cool, goth girl or whatever, right? Cool. Death. This is a Gothic chick. Well, Mordecai is the god of death. And the End Mother is a white legendary dragon. She is ancient. She is eternal. Well, she maybe not eternal, but she's ancient. And she is a psychopomp. One of many. There are a lot of them. Now I want to have a gnome psychopomp. It's just this creepy little gnome dude who just comes into your house at night and he goes up and smells you and he goes like, "You smell different while you're asleep. Come with me." And then he just leads you off into death. I know, that's horrifying, isn't it? Who's horrified with me at that thought? It's a guy in a candy van. He's a psychopomp. Aslake joke? I didn't get it. I didn't get Aslake, Aslan. Oh. Is that... KT, -1. Something. Something. You're minus something. You get a demerit of some sort. I don't know how that translates into real world anything, but bam! There you go. You got it. All right. Cool. So, I'm trying to think which things I got out of my head. I got the gold dragon, the arbiter out of my head. I got the End Mother out of my head. I got the thing here that I'm not saying anything about yet out of my head. I got that note out of my head. I got the Karen moved up here. I didn't come up with a name for that guy yet though. I got a note on the Agrians. I got the note on lexicon in here. Didn't talk about the seal isle, but that was in my head, but I haven't touched it. And oh, that's right, I did the roads, the Fae, I got the acorn and whoever. But I want to put something in there about something in the soul spires, but I'm going to hold off on that one. I don't want to write that. Oh, that's right, the other note about the orc tribes and the End Mother. Still haven't come up with a name for the winged creatures that are out in the orc wastelands. The ones that hunt under the cover of darkness in small packs, live in their thorny nests. We'll figure it out though. So yeah, something else. Let me see, where was it here? No, that wasn't it. It was... Oh, okay, no, I did answer that question. All right, got it. Acorn could freak out law enforcement. Oh, nice. Wow, Scrap Hermit. That's a very deep meme. I like it. He just goes around and like every time, you know, a guardsman has a crossbow pointed at someone, he just makes a noise on something and then you just hear whack. And he just runs away giggling. That's dark. Dark. Oh, that's why that's up there. I was like, wait, why is there a big gap in this column? Okay, let me move that up here. That would be why. That got spaced out. I was like, oh, I lost the whole section? No, it just got moved. All right, there we go. That's much better. Okay. Okay. Tombed in thick eternal ice. Okay. Really wish I could come up with a name for those birds. Nothing is triggering in my head when I think of these things, because obviously you don't want to call them thorn birds, because then you conjure up the old 1970s, 80s TV series, the Thorn Birds, and Richard. Was it Richard Harris? Wait. Who was it in the Thornbirds? That guy, that actor. I don't remember. Chrysanth should know. Anyway, in Terrible Dad Joke, you're welcome, Chrysanth. She did give a... She did give a... Oh. Very nice. Have you thought of an optional play mechanism for waste? Everybody poops and things spoil. Any mechanical stuff would be totally on Erudi. I can suggest things, but if you think we need to come up with, you know, a whole mechanics section and a sidebar on everybody pooping, then I don't know if it's just because, you know, it's ever present in your mind as a father that, you know, small creatures poop. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I guess some of that stuff is really up to the people at their individual tables. I mean, you can mention in the game, like encumbrance, same kind of idea. Everything has encumbrance, but people are like, whatever. I'm carrying around 10,000 copper. You're like, are you? Are you really? You must have strong arms. I mean, even if the copper are the tiny little coppers, like the old, like little tiny copper pennies in some cultures, like the size of your fingernail, or your thumb, or your pinky nail, they're still gonna add up because that's just metal. All right, I haven't gone into the gnomes and the elves yet. I have a whole bunch. You can tell that I really like the dwarves because, like, I started the dwarven thing, and the dwarven nation starts like here, and it goes all the way down this entire column, all the way down this entire column, and then I have another section I took out. I'm like, whoa, that column, that's actually not very long. Oops. Right. And I have to notice, I have the talk about the River Gold, that the dwarves that got looted and attacked, and one of the caravans got attacked by a dwarf, or a dragon, and it got looted. So there is a dragon out there somewhere that the dwarves are hunting for, because them took her gold. Those poor dudes. All right, the lexicon is here. Ah, here we go. Here's the lexicon. All right, so I'm not going to put a dragon in there right now, but we will be talking about a dragon there as well, because the dragons, they're a big part of the world. They are the firstborn of the gods, so there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with that. All right, I'm going to copy a couple things over because I have something in this other note page that I need to get onto here. Where did I put it? It must be... Oh, gosh. Ah, here we go. All right, I'm going to grab this. We're going to copy this out. Wait, all right. Wait, do I have this in here twice? Oh, I think I do. Aha! Okay, I can remove it from here. All right, let's remove it. Aha, I just realized I had it in here twice. I don't have to do this twice. And I shouldn't do it twice. All right, let's get back down to it. Okay, that's good. Boy, see, that's the other good thing is I feel like I was covering something. I'm like, did I already cover that? I did. All right, I don't have to copy that back over there. Let's go down here. I have some information on the Sapphire Sands area, too, that I need to throw in here. I'm really excited about rewriting the actual Sapphire Sands stuff up because I ended up with 4 entire pages of notes after we did that session on the Sapphire Sands. Because the Grix Fall meteors, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be a fun event to talk about. Skiffs, glass crater. Yeah, that is going to be so much fun. And the cat market. Now, one thing I'm going to be asking Erudi about too is because since, humans are all over the place and there are also some races that are not exactly nice. I think that amongst the orcs, slavery is going to probably be a thing because they probably enslave one another. Like, hey, we beat you. You're going to do our job, do our thing. But I'll have to see what his mindset on that is. Like, as a rule, orcs are kind of unruly. They don't want to die, in servitude. They want to die in a fight. How would they handle becoming a slave? Because I mean, they're not monolithic. They are individual creatures. They have a specific mindset and a generic way of thinking because, well, it's ingrained in them. But is it something so ingrained that if they became a slave, they would just wither and die really fast, or would they just rail against it and fight against it forever? There more than one type of orc in their society? Are there like frontline orcs? Are there backline orcs? I don't know. I'll have to see. But I think they would. And the reason I'm bringing that up is I'm wondering if that would be a thing in the cat market. If it's a place you can buy anything, why couldn't you buy another being? Unpleasant subject, but why not? People aren't nice. Needed to cover for a janitor again. Aha! Jarek appreciates the attention. The orcs don't cook Mexican food with the humans and hang out together and breed openly. Orc diversity is not our strength. No, during the war, the orcs flooded down through the mountains and over the mountains down into the human lands, where the gnomes and halflings and humans and even, the other races have their enclosures. The dwarves held them off, but the orcs just flooded down and were like part of Grix's army. They were just fighting anybody they could anywhere. And so many of them fell that when they retreated after the war and got back up there were the two major cities for the two tribes that did that had an actual enclosures and enclaves. The rest of them had just been pretty much nomadic, and they returned to being nomadic. But in their absence and through everything that happened in the war, the predators kind of advanced and took over their areas. So they had a lot of fighting to do to take back their normal hunting grounds and stuff. So they fight everybody and everyone. And I think there's probably still going to be some lingering like orc outposts in the mountains and hills that threaten areas because the wilderness is still prevalent after the war, even all these centuries later, because the people have kind of like collapsed back into their centers of population and have been expanding slowly, and the longer lived races retreated to their places and keep their roads free and stuff, but they're just like, we're not going over there. We're not going to fight them because we don't care. So the orcs have managed to make little footholds and goblins and other creatures. It'll be good places for adventure. It'll be like, wilderness barons. Like someone's like, if anyone can take out that place, we'll give it to you. You will become the baron of this brand new area. All I have to do is hold it against the orcs. Good luck. Slap you on the back, send you out the door. Like a land rush with incredible amounts of danger. There we go. I'm writing about the cat market. At the moment, I have it on the border of the Sapphire Sands. It's technically not in that kingdom, but it's right on the border, and it's like a little a freehold of devotees of Davila, and also Mordecai, which is also the people in Sapphire Sands worship a lot. It's a massive market built in, the ruins of an old city, sprawling city built around it. And these devotees, they have their own little protection, their army, they enforce all the rules and they profit from it. Traders come and go. It's kind of like we think of like something being off the coast, like a duty-free zone, a black market, but a massive black market the size of, a village surrounded by a town. And they let it go because the profit between them is pretty sizable until they get up in arms. And then they have little skirmishes back and forth. Okay, I just got a weird text from, it's a spam text. Aha, that's why it looks weird. But yeah, I think that's why they get away with doing what they're doing. Yeah, so basically nearly anything can be bought in the market if you know who to ask. Slaves, weapons, magical items, mundane spices. If it's worth something, you'll likely find a seller or a buyer for it there. 30%, 36%, got a charge! Yeah, pay your taxes. Wait. Yeah, there could be, because I mean, in the kingdoms that they have right now, like the humans have their own kingdoms, but like halflings just live in mostly the human kingdoms, and sometimes the gnomes do too. It makes sense for the goblins to do that too, and I think the goblins are also going to work for the giants in some cases. I think that'll be fun. Boop. Cat market. Get a note about the cats in the cats market right now. So basically, I have it. Cats are a sacred animal to both Davila and Mordecai, and as a result, the market and city are overrun with them. It's considered bad form to harm or harass them, but not against the law, though most believe that you can bring the ire of both gods down upon your head if you were to abuse them. Which is why there are cats sunning themselves everywhere. All right, we're gonna do a semicolon there. Gotta pay your cat tax. Horace B, can you say what page layout software you use? I'm using Word right now, and I'm literally in layout. If you go to layout in Word, I did columns, and I chose 2. So it's literally Word, layout, columns, 2. Boom! Done. And this is, it's just basically a good idea when you're doing any kind of a document, go the simplest route. Like when I write a manuscript for a book and I'm sending it off to literary agents as a query, one thing you have to look at is they have formatting that is very different. And they want your book in the format, whether or not they're going to accept it. They want it in a certain format, so it's not only easy to read, it's standard, it looks like everybody else's setup. So when they get it, they're all the same. You're not doing clever layouts and weird fonts and stuff. Use a specific font. You don't use tab. Never use tab in a document like that. They all want the tab key removed from all keyboards because it does not work with formatting software for printmaking, and a few other things. So usually what they have you do is, you can't even, I don't know if you can see it on here. Maybe I can change my screen here really quickly. Let's do this. I'll move this down. I'll go in here. Let me get into OBS and I will show you the very top of this screen here once. Let me get to it. I have too many overlays. There we go. All right, I'm going to raise this up a little bit so you can see up top. I'll go over to this side. I'll go into the first column here. You can see where my cursor is here. I know it's a little hard to see with the blurriness, but up top you have the line indents. You have first line indent, and right below it is the left indent. If you pull the left indent, it moves the whole margin. If you're doing this, the top arrow on this little caret, the little caret top arrow, what you do instead of a tab is you pull this thing over to there. That way, every first line that you start from hitting a carriage return and an enter, like if I were to do that, I would go here and go boop. You can see that first line. Like if let me do this. Let me pull this back. If I go here, this line, and go boom, it now indents every first line. So I don't want it in this because I don't want the line indents right now. But that's how you do that in the main manuscript. And if you look up manuscripts for writing and stuff, you'll find that. And I'm not doing any of that right now in here because I don't know what format, what kind of indents Erudi wants, and any of that stuff. And who's going to be editing it later. So I'm giving real simple, no indents, just going with boop, a simple thing. We're using the built-in headings of Word right now, which they can just strip it all out and turn it back into text easily. And it will just be text and columns and done. So there, that's it. I'll move that back down. Boom. Boom, bam, boom. Yeah, I'm only concerned with the text, not the layout. Yep, literally we're doing this, the 2 layout or 2 column thing because Erudi started writing his stuff in 2 columns. I think this is a format kind of that he wants it to be in eventually. And that's why I'm doing it in the 2 column format, because that way you can look at it in the same exact way. And if that ends up being the way that he's going to do it, great. And if not, they can just click that button and turn it back into a one column thing, and it will just be boop. And that will, it's an easy flip back and forth because it affects the whole document. And there'll be headers and footers, you know, with different things in it when they do all the printing. But right now it's literally getting all the text together, having it sorted for my own sanity, and a way to look at it in the navigation pane. Like if I do, let's see here, where's my navigation pane? Boom. I don't know if you can see this here. Let me let the screen refresh. So if I click on one of these things over here, it can take me to the headers, because this automatically, when you use the headings in this kind of a document, in a Word document like this, if you use these headings up here, and I'll do this again. I'll grab this. Whoops! I almost grabbed the wrong page there. Whoops! I don't want to resize it that way. Dang it! I'm hitting all the buttons. All right, if I bring this up, you can see right by the end of the word Legend Seeker. I'll move the logo quickly. You can see those white boxes up there. Those are the normal headings for Word. If you use those in your document, it will change the text to whatever blue color, but it automatically puts them in that outline mode for you. So there you go. It's an easy way to just organize your document. You can also just make other things. I made some of my own for like when I'm writing like a chapter heading. Then it automatically puts it in the center, gives it an entry in the navigation pane, and does all the stuff for me. It's very nice. You know, Savage Shock, that's funny. I made a note for myself in this other document saying, does this world have cat people? I don't know if it does. Erudi might want them, or he may say no. Get your cat hair blankets. Get your cat hair blankets. Now, if those cat hair blankets are literally just made from discarded cat fur, because there's some enterprising guy who has like a stall that is nothing but little cat scratching posts, the cats come in there and rub themselves against it, and he's like, thank you for all your hair. And he just grabs all their hair and gets, you know, a ton of it every day and makes cat hair blankets. Sure. If, however, he's hurting cats, he's going to be in some troubles. I don't know. I doubt I'd be doing the layout. No. I probably won't even be doing the editing, because I can edit, but I'm better at the writing part. That's why I have an editor for my writing. I do a good job, and she doesn't have to do a lot of editing sometimes, but when it comes to content and focus and what's the word I'm looking for? Continuation? No, constancy? Yeah. Consistency. There you go. When you want the consistency, you're like, hey, you references it earlier on, but you had to capitalize. You don't have it capitalized anywhere else in the book. Are you using capitalized or not capitalized? And I have to make a thought like, yes, that word should always be capitalized. And we go through the document and make a consistency check and all that stuff. So we'll be doing that, especially when it comes to like name of the world, name of characters, name of certain things. Are we capitalizing the word God? Are we not capitalizing the word God? Because generally in real life, capital G refers to God, and lowercase g refers to mythical gods and creatures and stuff. So it depends on how people want to do it, really. You still have 15 minutes until you're caught up. No. Sorry, Michaela. And by the way, I bet it's even more crazy and frantic for you going through at 2 times speed, because I've been all over the place today because of my hot sauce coffee, I'm sure. Maybe not. I don't know. But I feel like I've been all over the place, which has been good because I've gotten a ton done, but it's probably driving everybody else crazy. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm kind of going to wrap up. Does anybody have any questions before I go? But please don't forget to like the stream, because putting more likes out there makes sure that we're going to be doing this even more. And getting comments is really, really, really important for engagement and getting this out to more people. So comment, ask a question, point out something you like, point out something you hated, point out that I should never wear a tank top again, point out that hot sauce and coffee is the best thing ever. Anything you want, anything you want. Anything. You can even make fun of me. You could make fun of JT, you can make fun of Crescent. I'm not saying she won't come after you, but it's worth the risk, right? Maybe. Right. Yes, exactly. Crescent is like, yeah, more victims. Oh, wait. Like I said earlier, she's patient. Just give me more rope. Make fun of me. There's plenty of material. Ah, nice. Are you saying? No, you don't step in. You don't. Kaio's the one who always steps in his own mouth, puts his foot in his mouth. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. So, this has been really fun. I've gotten a lot of stuff done, and it amuses me sometimes to go see how fast I can go between different things, because weirdly enough, occasionally when I'm going rapidly between like 2 or 3 or 4 things, it spurs even more weird ideas. So I've got all those notes on the side from fringe thoughts and comments in the chat too. People will bring up something. I was like, oh, click, 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 click. Ooh, that just case in point gave me another thought here. Where did it go? Where's my other note? That's not my note page. All right, here's my note page. Let's get to the end of it. I have too many note pages. Boom, there we go. Put that note in there and save that document so I don't forget about it. Bam. Something like that. Horace, interested in getting into page layout, but I don't know where to start. I've Scribus and played around with it and did on PageMaker about 20 years ago. Do you have any advice? Ooh, interesting. I honestly, when I do page layout for anything, since I just use Word most of the time, I literally stick with a plain old Word document, leave the margins where they're at, and do exactly what I was talking about with the indent. If you're talking about publishing stuff for yourself, like you want to self-publish, there are templates for things too that I have downloaded those, and I'm going to take one of my DM how-to book, and I'm going to throw it into that template and see what happens, because they have a very specific format with very specific margins for a normal 6x9 hardcover book that translates to paperback and ebook. And you throw your document in there and you figure out how everything works out, because they have those templates ready for publishing stuff online, and those just do it all for you. So, but that'll be interesting. Horace, if you have more questions and you want to talk more about that stuff, I'd be interested in learning more too, because I honestly don't know a lot about it. I'd say, yeah, if you research and find anything out, you let me know. I'll look too. But I think we're pretty much at the end here, and I think I'm 10 seconds over. All right, I better get out of here before somebody comes after me with a shovel or something. You contacted Pinnacle because I was interested in creating some Savage World content, but their style guide was kind of crazy. Really? If I should look up their style guide and see what they have, I'd be interested. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. So cool. All right, take care, everybody. I'm gonna get the heck out of here, and I will talk to you all. Oh, let's see. Back here on Monday for Call of Cthulhu, and then Tuesday over on Geeks and Gamers Tabletop 5 to 7, doing the same exact thing. Frost written for the Legend lore, the lore of Legend Seeker. I'm totally getting myself screwed up here, but I am going to be doing this again on Thursday, and then eventually soon you'll see me in a Rifts campaign and a One Ring campaign. So I'm going to be all over the place. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to talk to you all later. You have a fantastic evening. Remember, on YouTube, please like, comment, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do that as well. Love to have you here. And Crescent threw the link for the Discord, so come find us on Discord too. You can send all kinds of questions at Erudi, me, and everybody else there. I'll talk to you later. Night.